Today I'm going to show you the Ken Onion Work Sharp and how I freehand sharpen with it. The tool's got these rubber feet on the bottom of it, but I don't think it stays in place well the way I'm using it. I'm using it kind of as a miniature belt sander with the belt facing me, moving down, so I can sharpen with two hands instead of the way that the manufacturer intended us to do it. So because of that, I got this little setup here with a cookie sheet. I'm doing a piece of shelf liner on the table and the cookie sheet on top of that to keep it in place. Then another little piece of shelf liner on top of the cookie sheet and the Work Sharp on top of that. The idea is, so the whole thing won't move, and so the dust that comes off of this while I'm sharpening gets captured in the cookie sheet and not all over the table and the floor and everything else. It makes a little bit of a mess. It's not terrible. Anyway, so this is the P120 belt. It's really ANSI 100. We're going to start with this on the knife I'm going to sharpen today. Let me grab that knife and show it to you real quick. I'm adjusting this in the center of the top roller and in the center of the bottom roller. There is this tracking adjustment over here, but it doesn't have a very good range, and it's right where it should be anyway. I've used this before. All right, so the knife. This is a really dull Hinkle knife. How dull? This dull. It will not cut me at all. I'm not pushing super hard, but you can see it's leaving kind of white lines where I'm pressing. If there was any sharpness to this whatsoever, it would cut the heck out of me. You probably can't see, but there are a lot of chips in this edge. The point is fairly pointy, though it's not super pointy. We'll fix that. All right, so I'm going to get right to this here with the P120. This machine has 14 speed settings from lowest to highest. I'm going to run it right in the middle. We start at 0 to the lowest here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 clicks up here. It should give us a decent speed. I'm going to start by putting Sharpie on the edge. Let's see which one I'm going to start with. Doesn't really matter, the edge width is about the same on both sides. So I'm going to start with this side. Not sure if you can see or not, that now has Sharpie along the entire edge. I'm doing this so that I can make sure I'm at approximately the same angle when I'm sharpening on this as it came from the factory. Just going to find my angle here with a little touch. I'm just about dead on. Take one pass. As you can see, pretty much all the Sharpie's been removed from the edge. Going up on the shoulder. I'm feeling for a burr, and I've actually started to form right here in the center. So we're going to work this a little bit more. And notice that as I move through the curved portion of the knife, I'm raising the handle up so that the edge stays in contact with the belt. If I didn't do this, it would ride up onto the shoulder instead, and not really hit the point properly. Set the burr again here. Starting. Alright, I've got a burr along a good portion of the edge now. Not at the heel, so I'm just going to let it have the heel. All through here I feel a burr. And here, I do not. Just spend extra time. can't see it with the camera, but when I'm hitting the tip, I'm making sure that the actual tip of the tip is touching the belt. If you don't do this, you'll never get to the point, and you'll end up with a rounded point. If you go too far, you'll end up with a tip that's nice and blunt, which is usually not what you want. So let's check for a burr again. Oh yeah, pretty much full length except for the first quarter to half inch of the heel and the last quarter to, yeah, more like a half inch of the tip. So I'm going to work on those two areas real quick. Yep, pretty much a full burr heel to tip on that now. So I'm just going to switch sides and do the exact same thing again. Just going to form a burr along the entire edge and keep going. I should Sharpie this side also. The angle's probably going to be really, really similar, or at least close enough. But I like to check. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much dead on. Okay, that's doing it. Check for a burr. I got the beginnings of the burr. Wow, I'm on a bunch of the edge actually. That's really surprising. That's fast. Some really beat up blades I've worked on, I've had to do 10, 12, 15 passes before I get started to get a burr. And this knife's really dull, but it's not beat the crap like so many of those other knives I've gotten. You notice I'm getting my hand really, really close to the belt. It's running slow enough that it really isn't going to hurt me if I accidentally touch it. So that's another advantage of this thing over, real high-powered belt sander is it's not really going to hurt you too much. Alright, I've got a burr almost the entire length here. Not quite by the feel of the blade yet, but just about everywhere else I can feel the burr. Work on this a bit. A tip, well, it's something I do. When I'm working on the heel of the blade, I like to touch the belt to it about here, and then move back until I get to the bolster. Otherwise, I might be setting the bolster down on the belt. I don't really want to do that. I want to just get up to the bolster and not grind it away. So you'll see me move the knife a little bit this way, and then back this way. Okay, got a burr on the whole length. I don't normally deburr after this really, really coarse belt because I'm just going to be moving up to the other belts anyway, the X65, the X22, and the X4. So I'm going to change belts real quick to the X65. Adjusting the tracking here to get the belt over that way a little bit. Manually move it a little bit also. Check my time on the camera. I think I'm still doing okay. Alright. burr is on this side. So we're going to use this belt to quickly take the burr off and then establish a new burr at this grit level. Same thing as before. Once you establish an initial burr, as you work through the grits, it gets back up real quick. I've already got a full length burr. I'm going to take a couple, one or two more passes just to make sure the scratch pattern is totally gone from the previous belt. Just looking at the reflection here to make sure the scratch pattern does look like it's changed. I'll be honest, in this light I can't really tell, so I'm kind of going on faith that I have removed that scratch pattern. We definitely have a full length burr. I don't know if the camera can see it, but you might see the burr glinting all the way along this edge. Maybe, if I'm lucky. I'm going to take the burr off this side and establish yet another burr at this X65 level. I can actually see the burr reflected in the light here on the whole edge. Again, I'll do two more passes just to try to make sure the scratch pattern is going. I'm still learning this camera, and apparently the video shut off partway through the X65. I was almost done with it. Missed the X22 entirely and the X4. I actually finished the blade, but I'm not super satisfied with the level of refinement, so I'm going to spend, I don't know, another 4, 5, 6 passes per side on the X4 and see what I can get done here. Hopefully a little more polished edge. That's right. I had the machine set on the very lowest setting. Alright. There you go, that's what we want. What I noticed when I was using this belt before was that I formed this really giant floppy burr that I've never seen before from this machine, and I think it's because I didn't deburr in between the belts. So I was actually pretty surprised by that. And I'm not forming a really easily discernible burr now. I'm just going to keep going on this side. Okay, there we go. Now I'm starting to form a burr with the X4 that I can really feel. Something else I should mention here. So I'm doing the two-handed technique. I'm supporting it with one hand like this and one hand like this. If you're right at the tip, your control isn't that good and your thumb can touch the belt. If you're too far back, your control of the tip isn't very good. I like to be about here, roughly. That way I can see and feel exactly where the tip is. but it's not too far away so it's awkward or my hand shading it where I can't see it. So it's kind of this weird balance, but about there is what I like to do. Let's check for a burr. Okay, yeah, I think we're good enough here. Let's do the other side. Keep going a little more. One other thing I should mention, I talked about how you lift the handle of the knife as you go through the curve. The other thing is, because the curve brings the edge so far back towards the spine, the edge angle actually gets higher from here to here. So what you really have to do is both do this and do this. Now, this part of it is very slight, and it really only occurs about from here on. It's just a bit of a change. And again, the real key is to make sure that the point of the point is touching when you're done. If it doesn't, then you're never going to get a sharp point. All right, I'm thinking this is real close. I'm going to, let me do some back and forth deburring passes. I'm going to turn this machine down at the slowest speed so that I'll deburr nice and smoothly. It's kind of strange. The cork's really revealing. Sometimes you think you've removed the burr, when in fact you've straightened it up. And when you cork the cork tends to kind of tell you the truth. Alright, this feels pretty much burr free. I might feel a little bit on one side here. To me, this is one of the hardest things to do with a work sharp because you can't really control the speed and the contact force as finely as you can with a bench stone, for example. So, whenever you're really serious about deburring this 100%, you do want to go to a super fine belt like the 6000, or switch to some other type of abrasive to do it. Alright, let's grab some fresh phone book paper and see what this edge will do. Okay, good, that's nice and smooth. I'm going to be honest, when I was testing it previously, I got several hangs that had told me I hadn't really deburred it properly. Now I feel like I've done a pretty good job. There's still a hang or two in it, but I think that's pretty good. Definitely think that's pretty good. Well, look at that, me tearing it right at the end there. Let me sacrifice a little bit of arm here for the sharpening gods here. Hopefully you can see that. That just took it right off. Okay, I think that's a pretty decent demo of the work sharp and how I freehand with it. Hope this helps someone out. Thanks for watching. See you later. One final sharpness test. I kept saying over and over again different things about the point and how to make sure you kept a sharp point and got a sharp point. This isn't the absolute last word in sharp points. It's pretty pointy. Just kind of want to show what it does to phone book paper. It digs in really easily. So definitely that point maintained its sharpness, and in fact I think got far sharper than it was when I started. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show.